Alright guys, welcome to another exciting video for the Poco X3 Pro, also known as YU and Bhima. Now this right here is a ported ROM which is based on MIUI 13.0.13.0. Now there are quite a lot of MIUI based custom ROMs and I thought I should give it a try because it's ported from the Redmi Note 10 Pro, and I really was curious to see what exactly happens when you have a souped up MIUI version like Mint BGST. So I've tried benchmarks, gaming, charging, battery drain and all the other things, and that's what we are going to discuss in this complete review. But before we get into the details, if you haven't already, please subscribe because it doesn't cost you anything and it really motivates us to make amazing content like this. And without further ado, hello awesome people, welcome to PhoneOps. My name is Kailash. Let's get going. Now first things first, as you can see over here, MIUI Mint BGST version 13.0.13.0. Maintainer is of course Mint team. This will work both on the YU and Bhima. That means the Indian and the international variant. Android version of course is 12. Build date is the 3rd of September. So relatively latest build here. Now this is of course ported from the Redmi Note 10 Pro, that is sweet code name, based on global EEA 13.0.13.0. So that's a good base to have because EEA ROMs are known to be stable and slightly smoother than the global and especially the Indian variants. Decrypted by default, multi-languages, fully read-write system. SE Linux status is permissive, debloated some apps. That's a good thing because MIUI, as you know it, is a heavy skin. Added monet support. Now this will be interesting to see. Add 90 FPS support. This is not 90 FPS gaming that we are talking about. This is basically 90 FPS refresh rate, which gives you the best of both worlds. Good battery life and good smoothness as well. Added dual control center features, MIUI 12 and MIUI 13. Add Leica camera, add launcher mod. Now there is still a full change log. Of course, we will not go through that because that's going to be a little long and boring. Now with that, let's go back to the home screen. And as you can see, I've set this MIUI 13 live wallpaper. It looks good and you have this whole green theme going around in this particular ROM, which looks good in my opinion. So they've said that, they've added monet and a bunch of other things. Now, the first good thing that I've noticed over here is it comes with the MIUI dialer and MIUI messaging. Although Google dialer is not bad, but trust me, on multiple devices, I've experienced the Google dialer and it does create a lot of lag, which of course ruins the experience. For that matter, even on my Realme GT2 Pro, which is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, the Google dialer does lag. So that is a neat addition over here. Of course, this is a stock-based ROM, so you have all the features of the MIUI camera, which is built in, and all of them are working absolutely fine. There might be a few things here and there which are added extra in this particular ROM from the Note 10 Pro, but more or less it's still the same. Now, one thing that I did notice in this particular ROM is that the brightness is a little on the lower side. Even after having maximum brightness, I really don't see the effect of full brightness over here. If we go to the edit menu of quick tiles, let's see if we have outdoor mode or a high brightness mode or anything of that sort. As you can see, you also have a lot of quick tiles over here, which is a good thing. And I really don't see a high brightness mode. So that is something that is missing. Apart from this, you do get the new MIUI 13 control center, which can be enabled from settings. We are using the old one for now. Now, what about performance? What about UI smoothness? That's what we're going to talk about next. To the left, of course, I have Google Feed, which works smooth as butter, and that is a first for a MIUI based ROM. So that is a good thing. If you press and hold over here, you do get access to settings. And if you go to more, although this is a Poco device, because this is a ported custom ROM, you do get the system launcher, which is a good thing here. So you do get, things like animation speed, -1 screen with Google Discover. There are a few features which are not present in Poco Launcher, but are added in this souped up version of the system launcher. Now, that is not where everything stops. You have animation speed control, simple animation options, recents corner radius, recents blur radius, hide status bar from recents, hide apps title in recents. So all these options, as you can see, they just continue to grow on you. There's a ton of options that you have over here, and you can also choose what style of animation you want. For example, if you look at it now, as you can see, this is sort of like iOS, not exactly, but sort of like iOS. And the thing that I like about this ROM is it's pretty smooth. It's working really well. You also have things like floating windows which are present and they work absolutely fine. Now apart from this, when you go to the widgets section, you will notice that there is one good thing and one bad thing. Good thing is you do have the MIUI 13 style of widgets available over here. Most of them are online widgets. And the slightly bad thing that you have over here is that their labels are in Chinese. Although when added to the home screen, they should be working just fine. So once again, we will try to add them. Let's go to say widgets and let it load. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna add this. Okay, see if that works. Okay, so sometimes the widgets are adding, sometimes the widgets are just disappearing. I don't know why. Let's try it once again. Okay, so some MIUI 13 widgets of course are having issues over here. Now moving on, let's actually go to settings over here and let's go to about phone. There you go. This is customized as well. If you go to all specifications, you have all the info including extended RAM over here. This of course is Android 12 and August security patch. So you do get the latest security patch as well, which once again is a good thing. Security patch aside, the MIUI version mentioned over here is 13.0.13 stable. And remember, this is ported from the Redmi Note 10 Pro. So that is the reason we have a different MIUI version number. The kernel in question is of course a stock perf kernel. So nothing to write home about there. But if you look at this menu, they have done, some sort of customization, and this ROM Mint BGST is basically about adding some more customization as much as they can without bloating the ROM. And that's what we're going to actually focus on in this particular video. So if you look at this looks more like the China version of the ROM, because otherwise you have MI account info somewhere else. And if you go to SIM cards and networks or Wi-Fi, you don't really have a lot of changes here. And everything is stockish over here. But if you go to wallpaper and personalization, you will see that you do have the new interface. If you actually go to the wallpaper change menu, let's click on library. Now these are the MIUI 13 wallpapers which the Poco X3 Pro never got, and they are available and they work absolutely fine. So that is a neat addition. Now apart from this, you have ringtones, notifications, alarm, everything is stockish over here as well. If you go to lock screen, you will see that all the options over here are available just like the stock ROM. You go to password and security, you have fingerprint unlock which works fine, face unlock which works absolutely okay. But if you go to display, you will see that this preview is a little different. Then you have refresh rate in which you do get 90 Hz, which basically gives you the best of both worlds. That is good smoothness and good battery life. And battery life is never a concern on the Poco X3 Pro, because of course this comes with a 5160 milliamp hour battery. If you go to control center and status bar, things are a little different over here. And as you can see, Mint status bar, as you can see over the top, if I change this, there you go. Once again, as you can see, moving on, changes again and changes again. So such small things like these is what makes these custom ROMs a little different. It gives you a more elegant touch of personalization, although what you like or not is completely up to you. Now moving on, in sound and vibration, again, you don't really have a lot of changes here. You do have the sound effects menu, which does make some different. And moving on, let's see what else we have here. So the launcher is reloading there. I don't know why. Let's quickly go to settings. There you go. Notification and control center style, MIUI 13 style control center. If you enable this, turn on the player, active color monitor. Okay. Wow. So let's see here. As you can see, the new MIUI 13 style control center is present and it works absolutely okay. So, as I said, these are the customizations that are available in this particular ROM. Don't expect this ROM to, perform like a beast, like a AOSP based custom ROM and stuff. Moving on, let's see if we have any other changes that the BGST team have made. Of course, to the home screen, there are a lot of changes. In the battery section, you do get the performance mode, which in my opinion does make a little difference. And the battery life on this ROM has been excellent. I'm easily getting 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. The charging speeds are pretty rock solid, 1 hour 15 minutes to 1 hour 20 minutes to charge from say 2-3% to 100%. So battery life was never a problem. If you move to special features, you have your MIUI 13 sidebar, which can be kept always enabled, and those things are present and they work absolutely okay. So as far as the settings menu is concerned, you don't really have a lot of changes. And even on the home screen, apart from the launcher and this beautiful recent look, you don't really have a lot of changes made. Now let's quickly have a look at the benchmark numbers here. As you can see, the CPU throttled to about 85% of its max performance, and the average score was 165,298 GIPS with the maximum score or 179,672 GIPS. So that's a decent result. Things like Derpfest and CR Droid give you a much better experience, but this is doing its job just fine. So nothing to worry there. Now, apart from this, if we talk about Antutu Benchmark, let's go ahead. Okay, it's reloading the app. Anyways, 585,272. So that's a pretty decent score. I won't call it mediocre because it's around 5 or 10,000 more than the stock ROM. The temperature did increase by 7.5 degrees Celsius and the battery did drop by 4%. So that's standard behavior there. Even if we talk about Geekbench, before we talk about the gaming numbers, 763 single core and 2550 multi-core, so pretty decent run there. And if we talk about gaming in Apex Mobile or Call of Duty Mobile, you don't really have any, higher FPS unlocked or stuff like that, which you do have in a lot of custom ROMs. But apart from that, in gaming, it's giving me a pretty good experience. Even at 60 FPS, highest settings, Apex Legends was just fine. The device did not heat up much. The only thing that I don't understand is why port one of the MIUI versions when Poco is already giving updates to the Poco X3 Pro. That is never a bad thing, but yes, the effort has been put. The ROM looks fine. There are a lot of customizations that you can have. If you want MIUI, you can definitely use it, but there is a very critical factor that you need to consider. Safety net on this ROM is not passing, so you will have issues with banking applications. If you go to the Play Store, device certification is not present as well. So if you were to use this as a daily driver, you will have to go ahead and root it and fix safety net before you can use it. As far as Widevine L1 is concerned, it is there, it works fine, so no major issues with Netflix or Amazon Prime HD. That's it about the complete review of Mint BGST's latest port for the Poco X3 Pro. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this video. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at PhoneOps. Keep smiling, take care, goodbye.